please correct me if I'm wrong, but to my knowledge, there's never truly been a U.S. president of Jewish descent. Now, the only thing close is some people say that Abraham Lincoln had Jewish heritage going back to England, and that Lincoln is specifically a Jewish last name tracing back to England. And I will say that here in the United States, it's a very uncommon name. I don't really know of anybody with that as a last name. As a first name, yes, but it's not a last name that you actually hear a lot in modern day. Nor do I know of any Jewish people who have that as a last name. So it seems like a very loose claim there that Abraham Lincoln, now granted, yes, in his first name Abraham, a very obviously Jewish name, but as far as any proof that he actually was of Jewish descent, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but ultimately it does not appear that he was truly, and if he was Jewish, it'd be like me. There'd be Jewish heritage further back, and DNA tests would confirm it. Like where my mom, it shows 15.2% Sephardic Jewish. So technically, actual Jewish people say, well, that means you are, but people who aren't Jewish don't see that. All they see is, well, your mom showed some on her DNA test. So at best, let's say Abraham Lincoln was, in theory, as Jewish as I am. But still, he was not practicing of the Jewish faith. That's as close as we can get that I know of. And it's interesting when you look at U.S. presidents because other than JFK, who was Catholic, all other presidents, as far as their assigned religion, it was the Protestant Christian faith. And so for it to be a stretch that JFK was Catholic, and that was a big deal at the time, there hasn't even been another Catholic president since him. So as far as the religion of U.S. presidents, definitely no one of the Jewish faith. Now, there have been some people who are Jewish who have been right there next to the president, but as far as Rahm Emanuel for Obama, but not a Jewish president, not even someone who could even, one of their parents was. There was John Kerry, who was running for president, and I believe one of his parents was of Jewish descent, but still not practicing the Jewish faith. I actually don't think he's religious at all, from what I remember. Is that fascinating at all? That through the existence of the United States and all the U.S. presidents we've had, you're either Protestant, and if you're not, you're Catholic, and that's only one time. And even then, there's so much an overlap between Protestant and Catholicism here, especially in the United States. It's like it wouldn't make a difference to me. I wouldn't, as far as that goes. But as far as a Jewish president, so one of the themes I talk about so often on this channel is how important America's history and success has been built on the fact of the presence of Jewish people, the empires that they have helped build here in the United States. Yet there's certain things you don't really see them involved in, and that is one, running for president of the United States and being elected presidents. They're not even really wanting to become presidents. It's similar to the way that many Jewish people end up becoming actors. It's hard, it's very difficult to find a TV show in America or a movie in America that doesn't have at least one Jewish person in the main cast. And even if you don't, you still find that it was produced, written, and then the company that produced them, the owner of that is Jewish. But you don't so commonly see Jewish singers. A lot of times when someone, isn't Lady Gaga Jewish? No, Italian. And people will mistake Italians for Italian Americans for Jewish, but no. So it's interesting that there's really not that many overall, comparatively speaking. There's not a whole lot of Jewish singers. I know right now you're like, well, what about Barbra Streisand? What about, yeah, there are some, but it's not to the same phenomenon that you're going to see Jewish people as actors. Jewish people end up being actors, producers, but not so much performers in music as far as the same ratio that we see it in acting. And I think it's interesting. I've made a video too saying you don't see Jewish janitors. You don't see a lot of Jewish people driving pickup trucks. There are certain things that Jewish people end up, just for whatever reason, not gravitating towards. And running for president is one of them. So if you ask me, there's probably a reason for that, and it has to do with they'd rather be behind the scenes making all this stuff actually happen than be the person actually in front of the podium. That would be my guess. And I think ultimately, probably that's really what the point of this video should be. Not so much, hey, there's never been a Jewish president. More specifically, why would a Jewish person not want to run for president? Well, so, you know, I think that's really what we're looking at. But of course, in the last election, we finally had someone that did run for president, Bernie Sanders. Definitely, absolutely a Jewish man. He didn't get elected, and now I will say that apparently every county in the state of West Virginia voted for him, but still, he didn't win, and he didn't really come close to win. He had a following, but see, that's as close as we could even get. Fundamentally, there's reasons Jewish men specifically, have not wanted to run for president. And for me, why would anybody want to become U.S. president is always what I think. You know, to have all of that responsibility, it's not like you're doing it for the money. There's easier ways to make more money. In fact, you have to spend so much money to become president. You have to raise so much money. So I think that's really the interesting takeaway of this video. Fundamentally, why are Jewish people not attracted to want to run for president, more so when Christian men are? What is it that Jewish people know that it's not worth it? We could do all this stuff behind the scenes and not have to have the same focus on every little thing we do wrong. Tell me about it. I think we should explore this topic, and I think it's not a coincidence. When you think of how successful Jewish businessmen have been in the history of America, you would think in theory, surely they could run for president and be very successful, knowing the very positive track record in general of Jewish men being able to run a business. So if they can run a business so well, and so many of the businesses we still have today that have been around forever were started by Jewish men, why wouldn't they want to help run a country? It seems, Donald Trump was largely elected on this concept that he's going to run our country as a businessman. But when I think of a successful businessman, I think of a Jewish man. But yet they're not interested in running for president, and haven't been, or have not been successful when they actually have tried. I think there's a lot to unpack here. To me, this is very fascinating. The comment section belongs to you.